they would have to pay you money to get that. So in reality, you're trying to convince them to pay you money to be part of your company.
Claims of defaming. Be very careful defaming when you don't know the facts.
What had Patrick Bet-David threatening defamation in his recent appearance on Jubilee? It all started when one of the guys he debated brought up his so-called insurance company, PHP Agency.
If it's okay, I'd like to ask a couple questions about your job.
Sure.
Because you're offering that. I know that you're Valuetainment, right? You run a YouTube podcast. Mm-hmm. You also run PHP Agency, right?
Yep.
Yes. And you sell life insurance policies, right?
Life insurance and annuities.
Yes. I read an article by the Daily Beast which argued that you make more money from recruitment fees to get people to work for you than you make money from selling those policies. Capitalism is when you provide a service and sell the labor of yourself or the person who works for you in return for money. But you're not really doing that, right? You're selling being part of the company through recruitment fees. I'm not sure that's capitalism.
How familiar are you with the insurance industry?
Firstly, we can see the sleazy salesman tactics from Patrick. When the conversation is going in a direction that is not good for him, he answers a question with another question to deflect.
How familiar are you with the insurance industry?
As for Patrick Bet-David's company, PHP Agency, this guy is correct. It is, in my opinion, at best a shady MLM scheme, and at worst an illegal pyramid scheme. I've analysed it in more detail in a few videos which I'll leave in the description, but to summarise, PHP Agency poses as a legitimate insurance sales company that can make you extravagant wealth if you join. But once people do sign up to join, they find that instead of getting extensive training on insurance sales, what they are encouraged to do is recruit. A red flag for predatory pyramid schemes. Of course, Patrick has been criticised about this for years. He always has an answer ready to this line of questioning, and his appearance on Jubilee was no exception.
How familiar are you with the insurance industry?
Pretty familiar.
Are you?
Yes.
You've been in the industry before?
No, my grandfather was, and I asked him a lot of questions.
So in the insurance industry, when you're in it,
yes,
you get paid
yes.
by selling life insurance policies, and you get paid by selling annuities.
Yes.
We built a distribution channel of a company right after I left Morgan Stanley and Transamerica. We started the insurance company. We grew it, helping middle-income families who didn't have another opportunity to create wealth for themselves. I just came back from our event in Vegas.
Hold on, I'm not sure that's correct, though.
It is, though.
It's not correct, though, because what do you make more money from?
I just came back from. We don't make more money from recruiting.
Patrick is actually telling the truth when he says that PHP Agency does not make most of its money from recruitment, at least directly. The reason for this is even though new agents are aggressively urged to recruit their friends and family as soon as they join, they are not paid for recruiting them. They are paid for recruiting them and then selling them an insurance policy. My source for this, on top of the testimony of many victims of PHP Agency, is Patrick Bet-David.
So taking a step back on PHP business model, it sounds like half the business is in the recruiting, kind of an MLM of sort, network marketing model, and half is in actual profit from selling the insurances. Am I understanding that correct?
No, nobody makes money from recruiting. So for example, nobody can get paid money from recruiting.
You have to make the money on
a pyramid scheme.
But the business model part I'm still trying to understand. Because you said it's no one makes money from the licensing or the selling? So which part?
No one makes money from recruiting. You only make money. I don't make money if I recruit you. I only make money if I recruit you and get you licensed and get you to sell so I can override you. Or if I sell you a product. But just recruiting you, I don't make any money.
Let's be very clear, what Patrick Bet-David just described is an illegal pyramid scheme. This structure might help him with PR when he says that PHP Agency does not make most of its money from recruitment, but it is not a legal loophole. A good example of this is Herbalife, who in 2016 were fined $200 million by the FTC and forced to restructure their business because it was rewarding distributors for recruiting others to join and purchase products in order to advance in the marketing program. causing substantial economic injury to many of its distributors, which is what tends to happen with pyramid schemes. Getting the people who its distributors recruited to buy products didn't help Herbalife, it hasn't helped many other pyramid schemes, and if the FTC really comes knocking, it will not help Patrick. Let's look at what Patrick had to say next in this conversation on Jubilee.
We don't make more money from recruiting.
I read the Daily Beast article that did that. I also watched CoffeeZilla's debate with you, where he pulled up receipts that the majority of the employees of your company don't make any money.
Here's a question for you. Sure. Bring up CoffeeZilla.
Yeah.
Daily Beast is a different story. Go to CoffeeZilla.
Sure, of course.
Do you think if I was worried about my business model, I would go on CoffeeZilla? What do you think?
I think that it's not really capitalist.
Hang on a second. Do you think if I was worried about my business model, I would go on CoffeeZilla? They were actually very strong when they came back after me. We had a 2-hour conversation.
Yes.
We finished it. It was good to go. We moved on.
I should note that when Patrick did speak to CoffeeZilla, he made an absolute fool of himself, desperately deflecting from criticism into irrelevant, long-winded stories.
My point is it's not rogue agents that make you look bad. And it's not rogue agents that make Amway look bad. It's Amway's own numbers. So when I look at both the life insurance agency industry MLM, which you're drawing a distinction because you're saying, look, it's different, it's got regulation. And then I look at these other industries. I'm not looking at rogue agents. I'm looking at your numbers and I'm saying, wow, these look like the same thing. And so then I give you the same criticism that I give to all MLMs. And I firmly stand by that criticism of you guys are, unfortunately, whether you realize it or want to admit to it or not, people are coming in with the expectation of making a lot of money, and they think they're going to make it fairly much easier.
But I addressed that question for you.
But regardless, let's see where Patrick took this line of questioning on Jubilee.
Their claims that only 1% or 2% make and nobody makes it in insurance, they're right. Most people don't make it in insurance. Just like most people who move to California don't make it in Hollywood.
So
Patrick is very dishonestly claiming that CoffeeZilla's criticisms about most people in his company not making money is some general rule that can be applied to the entire insurance industry, using the fact that most people don't make it in Hollywood as an example. The fact of the matter is that the point is that in PHP agency, only a small, tiny percentage at the very top make any money, and nearly all of their insurance agents make next to nothing or even lose money by design, which is what you can expect with any pyramid scheme. Let me refer to my video Patrick Bet David Exposed, where I showed how this is the case, based on PHP Agency's own income disclosure agreement that is on their own website. If we look at an income of $250,000, the number that Patrick quoted, around 0.6% of the agents in the company earn this. The third bracket is between $100,000 and $250,000 annually, which 1.39% of the company earn. If we look towards the bottom of this graph, things begin to get alarming. 44% of the agents in the entire company earn less than $1,000 for the entire year. 31% earn between $1,000 and $5,000 for the entire year, which means that 3/4 of the entire company's agents earn less than $5,000 for the year. Even if it's a part-time income, that's abysmal. Let's see what garbage Patrick dribbled out of his mouth next in defense of his company.
They're right. Most people don't make it in insurance. Just like most people who move to California don't make it in Hollywood.
So I believe
and
the
most people
technical
don't make it in
term
real
for when you
estate.
make more money from getting people to be part of a company than from actually selling a service is called a multi-level marketing scheme. Do you think that that's a fair characterization of your company? Why not?
Do you know what multi-level is?
Yes, I know. It's where you make more money from, it's sort of like a pyramid scheme, wherein you make more money from getting people to be part of it and selling them to be part of the company.
A pyramid scheme doesn't have a product. That's criminal.
A pyramid scheme doesn't have a product. I've seen Patrick use this defense many times when accused of running a pyramid scheme. It is an absolute, bold-faced lie. Although a pyramid scheme is financially reliant on existing members recruiting new members, as opposed to selling products, they can, and often do, have products that they sell to mask the fact that they are a pyramid scheme. Always Marco explains this extremely well in his reaction to Patrick's appearance on Jubilee.
This is a blatant lie that he is telling with that straight face, with those stupid dead eyes, and he knows it's a lie. First of all, Patrick, this is from Truth in Advertising, FTC pyramid scheme cases post-Amway. Okay, right here is a list of all the MLM companies that were shut down for being illegal pyramid schemes since the Amway case in 1979. Guess what? All of these companies had products. Every single one of those companies had products. Having products does not preclude you from being an illegal pyramid scheme. As a matter of fact, having a product would be the best way to disguise operating a pyramid scheme if you were to operate one.
As this discussion continued, Patrick clearly began getting extremely uncomfortable with the line of questioning about PHP agency and pyramid schemes. So once again, he used his slimy, sleazy sales tactics by throwing out a random, irrelevant question to derail the conversation and change the subject.
A multi-level marketing company is more like an Amway, an Herbalife, a New Skin, those companies.
Okay. But
because it pays you.
You are making more money from getting people to be part of your company than you are from making money from actually providing a service.
That's not true. It's a claim by Daily Beast. By the way, do you know what a quality of earnings is?
Just pathetic. I personally take this desperate deflection as an admission of guilt. Unfortunately for Patrick, this deflection didn't stop him from being further pushed and having to continue a conversation that he was very uncomfortable having in front of millions of people. So, what tactic did he resort to next when his usual deflection tactics weren't working? As we saw in the intro of this video, he started crying defamation.
Be very careful defaming when you don't know the facts.
Let's have a look at what had Patrick Bet David hysterically crying defamation on Jubilee.
Don't make claims you don't know
what
about.
You're selling?
Do you know what ended up happening?
You know what you're selling, right?
Do you know what ended up happening?
Do you know what you're selling?
The company
you're selling
ended
your
up
personal
buying,
brand. You're selling the idea because when you're offering people here jobs, right? You're saying that they would have to pay you money to get that. So in reality, you're trying to convince them to pay you money to be part of your company.
Claims of defaming. Be very careful defaming when you don't know the facts.
You have a recruitment fee.
Be very careful
have a
claiming.
Recruitment fee.
Be very careful making that claim when you said people here have to pay to work at our company.
It's recruitment fee.
Be very careful. No, those are two different things.
Just unbelievably pathetic. There is a good reason why Patrick is threatening defamation here. Not because what this guy is saying is untrue, but because what this guy is saying is true, and the more people look into it, the worse Patrick Bet David looks. PHP Agency's income disclosure statement on its own website states very clearly that to become a new associate, you have to pay an enrollment fee of $199, as well as annual fees of $99 for associates and $180 for marketing directors. And this doesn't include the extra costs of having to pay for their own insurance broker's license if they do become a licensed agent for PHP Agency. Patrick was threatening defamation on Jubilee because he does not want you to know this. Why? Because when you look at the whole picture, that people are recruited into PHP Agency with promises of prospects of gaining extravagant wealth by learning how to be a legitimate insurance salesperson. Yet, when they arrive at their first training sessions, they learn that they are being encouraged to recruit like any pyramid scheme scam. When you combine all of this with the fact that people have to pay $199 to join, it paints a very, very shady picture. Patrick Bet David is a hack. He is in no way, shape or form a success story of someone who has become wealthy by legitimate means. He is a predator, a scumbag with no morals, who has deliberately targeted and exploited vulnerable immigrant communities for his own financial gain. Thanks for watching this video. To support the production of this content, as well as subscribing, you can join as a member. As a member, you can get some perks including early access to videos and some members only content coming soon. You can find the link to join in the description.